Welcome to my presentation. Before I proceed with the presentation, I would like to introduce myself and my four other team members. Myself, Kani from College Community Kuching, Faizatu Jamia Abdul Rahim, Siti Aliza binti Aziz Tumi, Suharyati Sulaiman from College Community Kuching Sarawak, and Dr. Ying-Leh from Polytechnic Kuching Sarawak. Our research title is Factors Contributing to Truancy among community college students in Sarawak, the relationship between predictors. Truancy is becoming more of a concern. Students who miss classes and never attend college for no apparent cause. The purpose of this study was to investigate the significant relationship between the factors that contribute to truancy among Sarawak Community College students. The vision set by the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia for Community College is to be the leader of an excellent TVET institution in line with Malaysia's growth as a developing country. TVET is full-time technicals and vocational education and training, as well as lifelong learning provided to people of all ages and backgrounds to prepare themselves for employment and contribute to the country's economic growth. In line with this desire, one of the community college mission is to provide widespread access to high-quality TVET program that produce graduates who are well-rounded in terms of intellectual, behavioral, disciplinary, and technical skills. These disciplines problems are always linked to a truancy issue, which are common in educational institutions. Students who are frequently absent from class are labeled as problematic. This act of truancy will have a direct impact on the student's behavior and learning in the classroom. This effect will be very noticeable when students are TVET students who are required to perform practical face-to-face. Skills cannot be practiced if students do not attend class regularly. This will be a question of quality TVET students who should meet the demands and the needs of the industry by contributing to skills as opposed to university students who are solely based on knowledge. Clearly showing the symptoms of truancy that occur in Tibet-based institutions are not a new phenomenon. They have occurred since the establishment of Tibet institution, and studies has been conducted to identify the significant relationship between the factors that contribute to truancy. To produce quality graduates who can meet the demands of the industry based on the field in which they work, the community college commitments to this problem is required to avoid an increase in the number of truancy among students. These symptoms of skipping classes should be eliminated so that students can attend college full-time and gain the necessary skills in the fields of the TVET they have chosen. According to Lukman et al. 2019, absenteeism is becoming a serious disciplinary issue among college students. This problem should be addressed as soon as possible because if truancy is not addressed quickly, it is likely that other students will follow suit. As a result, the research team took the initiative to identify the factors that influence the truancy problems. This study specifically seeks to determine whether there is a significant relationship between the identified factors influencing the problem of truancy among students. The research objective for this study is to identify the significant relationship between the factors that contribute to truancy. For the literature review, there are 6 constructs related to truancy. The first one is learning environment, second is family, third peers, fourth personal factors, the fifth is electronic media, and the last one, number 6, is lecturer. The first construct that involved in the literature review is learning environment. The learning environment can be one of the factors that contribute to a student's truancy. Ainun Madiyah et al. 2016 stated that truancy is associated with the lack of interaction between students and lecturers in class. A lecture room that is not conducive, a large number of students in one class, and a lecturer's delivery method is not appealing. According to Lukman et al. 2019, several factors cause students to experience school dropout symptoms, including teachers, students, peers, and even parents, all of which has a significant influence on the students who are experiencing school dropout symptoms. The second construct in the literature review is family. Maya 2019 did mention one of the causes of truancy among students is the family relationship. Other than that, Murad, Gukman, and Erdik 2016 mentioned that students' truancy also related to family factors. Lukman et al. 2019 mentioned the main cause of the existence of the practice of skipping school is the collapse of a student's family institution. When quarrels between parents arise, their children are ignored. Hopkins, Greens, and Burns 2011 mentioned that lack of parental oversight, poverty, substance and alcohol abuse, lack of family support, household issue, broken families, and household care responsibility are contributing to the factors that cause students truancy. Construct number 3 is peers. Nurhana and Zanariah 2020 mentioned that the strength of social support can be viewed as moral support from others, especially close friends when students need someone to listen to their problem. Other than that, Lukman et al. 2019 did mention that peer control is the source of students' school delinquency. Personal factor will be the fourth construct influencing truancy. Murad et al. 2016 discovered that student personal factors are among the contributing factors to truancy. Meanwhile, Keza et al. 2017 did mention that poor academic performance, exceptional participation in co-curricular activities, poor preparation for regular or weekly exam, incomplete homework, low self-esteem, and inferiority complex are all factors that contribute to truancy among students according to the findings. Another construct considered is electronic media. Lukman et al. 2019 mentioned that the sophistication of technology in this age of globalization is also a cause of recurrent truancy symptoms in schools, as students will default to the virtual world and ignore valuable time if that time is used frequently as possible to review students and make it worthwhile. Other than that, according to the findings of a study done by Kaiser et al. 2017, the descriptive research done showing that the abuse of electronic devices such as cell phones and computers lead to not only truancy but also harms a student's moral character. And the final construct that involves truancy is lecturer. Kaiser et al. 2017 mentioned there are teacher-related factors that contribute to student absenteeism. Lecturers' discriminatory and uncooperative attitude against students, too many assignments assigned by the lecturer's harsh and autocratic attitude, and the lecturer's poor ineffective methodologies, lecturer incompetency and unpunctuality contribute to students' truancy. Meanwhile, Farah 2017 argues that teachers contribute to absenteeism when the proposed teaching techniques and methods are unattractive. This occurs when students are unable to adapt to the activity and teaching style. Number 5 is research methodology. For the research design, the researcher used a descriptive research design in the analysis. This is a quantitative study that collected data from respondents through a questionnaire. Data is collected cross-sectionally at a given point in time, giving a snapshot of the population at that time. For population and sampling, the population was selected based on the objective of the study to identify the relationship between factors that influence the problem of truancy in community colleges according to the profile of student. The random sample selected for the study was based on a list of students obtained representing the population at the study site. For this study, the target sample of the research is community college students from semester 2, 3 and 4 who enroll in two programs, Certificate in Clothing Fashion and Certificate in Architectural Technology. This response rate has been considered adequate for data analysis representing the population in the study site based on the sample determination table by Creechy and Morgan, 1970. All respondents involved in the study represented a response rate as high as 87.3% of the identified sample list. For instrument and pilot tests, data collected via questionnaire involved Likert scale 1 to 6, which explain 1. Strongly disagree, 2. Disagree, 3. Somewhat disagree, 4. Somewhat agree, 5. Agree, 6. Strongly agree. The questionnaire is divided into two parts. Respondent demography is covered in Section A and factors affecting community college student is included in Section B. Learning environment, lecturer, family, and peers, students, and electronic media are the 6 constructs involved. The instrument was adapted from Kaiser 2017. Pilot test was carried out involving 42 students, which was conducted on 14 to 16 October 2020. For the learning environment dimension 10 items, the identified Cronbach alpha value was 0.930. The lecturer dimension 9 items and the family dimension 12 items obtained reliability value as high as 0.856 and 0.918 respectively. Accordingly, the peer dimension 4 items and the student self-dimension 12 items exhibited Cronbach alpha value of 0.920 and 0.930 respectively. As for the dimensions of electronic media 4 items, the findings show that the reliability value obtained is as high as 0.911. Overall, the reliability of the 6 dimension in the pilot study was found to be between 0.930 and 0.956, which is considered very fine. As a result, all of these items in the questionnaire have an appropriate Cronbach alpha rating, indicating that they are good and effective, with a high degree of quality. This has demonstrated the items' accuracy and reliability, allowing for the collection of additional data for this analysis. The collected data were analyzed using Pearson correlation to answer the identified objective. The 6 variable studies were analyzed to determine the relationship with each other by taking into account the strength of the relationship based on the relationship strength scale of Cohen, Mannion, and Morrison 2011. Correlation coefficients obtained above 0.80 are categorized as having very strong correlation strength. The strong correlation category for correlation coefficients between 0.51, coefficient 0.31 to 0.50 Weak correlation is addressed to correlation to 30, and finally correlation coefficient is very weak for sizes of correlation coefficients less than 0.20. Table 2 showing that correlation between study construct n equal 131. Pearson correlation analysis was used to measure the strength of the relationship between the 6 study constructs used. The results showed that all 6 study constructs had positive and significant correlation coefficient values at the level of p less than 0.05. This explains the form of positive and significant correlation between all these constructs. The positive and strong correlation values could be identified between the construct of electronic media and students are equal to 0.854. That is, the use of electronic media is strongly related to student self-perspective. The sophisticated technology in the era of globalization is now the cause of truancy symptoms. This causes students to prefer playing games or surfing the internet instead of attending lectures and not being able to manage time well. The lowest and positive moderate correlation value can be detected between the electronic media construct and the lecturer, R equal to 0.470. That is, the use of electronic media among students with students' views on the lecturer. This means that the use of electronic media has a low correlation coefficient on lecturers in a positive direction. The findings found that the lecturer construct had a moderately strong positive relationship with the learning environment construct in community colleges, R equal to 0.722. This means that dedicated lecturers will be able to create a conducive learning environment and encourage learning. The family construct was also identified to have a positive and significant moderate correlation with the learning environment construct, R equal to 0.647, and the lecturer's construct, R equal to 0.528. This explains the role of the family also correlate to the quality of the learning environment and the quality of the lecturer. In this study, peer constructs were also found to be positively and significantly correlated with learning environment construct, R equal to 0.580. Lecturer construct, R equal to 0.546, and family construct, R equal to 0.734. This shows that the influence of peers on students is closely related to students' perceptions of the learning environment, family, and the lectures they face. Less interesting teaching will influence students to skip class because they feel bored. Effective learning comes from a peaceful and serene school environment as it can improve student achievement. The learning environment includes the size of the school, the attitude of teachers, other students, and administrators who are inflexible in meeting the various culture, style, and ways of student learning. The teacher's teaching that is not interesting will cause students not to be interested in a lesson. The phenomenon of truancy can be attributed to the influence of peers, which can lead a person to know the world of good or bad, especially in oneself. It is feared that the students will be caught in more serious misconduct such as smoking, bullying, stealing, and so on, so that sometimes it can hurt other friends. This is due to the lack of attention from families, which encourage students to seek friends as companions throughout their adolescence. However, the presence of their peers can exchange opinion and solve academic problems or schoolwork. Student construct in educational institutions were also identified to have a positive and significant relationship on the learning environment. R equal to 0.608, lecturers R equal 0.557, family R equal to 0.788, and peers R equal 0.799. This suggests that students' discipline of their own responsibility in learning is closely related to a combination of factors of the learning environment, lecturers, family, and peers. In this study, electronic media constructs were also found to influence the learning environment. Family constructs are equal to 0.747 and peers construct equal 0.760. The correlation values for the above study construct are positive and significant, has shown the influence between each of above construct in the truancy issued phase. These include lack of parental guidance or supervision, internal violence, poverty, drug and alcohol abuse in the home, lack of legal awareness, and a lack of education. Parents should play an important role in educating children starting from an early age and always show good behavior in the family. Now it comes to the end of the paper presentation. For the conclusion, the study found the highest and most positive correlation value between the construct of electronic media and student, indicating that the use of electronic media is strongly linked to students' perspective. Findings show that lecturer construct had moderately strong positive relationship with the learning environment in community college. Other variables, family, friends, students themselves, and learning environment play a role in this issue and should be addressed. For the recommendation, a coaching and mentoring program should be introduced in the future to monitor student attitudes as well as their academic success. Among the intervention measures proposed are bettering lecturing, teaching quality, implementing more interactive counseling between lecturers and students. Before I end this presentation, I would like to thank Dr. Ying-Leh for his unfailing guidance and full support throughout the research process. This research paper will not be completed without his helpful attention, and also acknowledgement to my other team members for the encouragement to complete this research. Last but not least, thank you to the organizer. Salam Sejahtera and Salam Malaysia. Thank you.